Welcome to a new episode of Color Yourself Calm. And with the second wave of the virus arriving in Europe, it's definitely here. I think it's we need a Color Yourself Calm moment. And today I'm going to fix this. Although I do like the colors and the blending, it looks ridiculous when you look at the other colors here on the page. So I'm going to erase this. And the best way to do that is with the magical device called a Derwent electrical eraser. It's amazing. So let's do some. Oh, I'm pressing the button and nothing is happening. Okay, I think I fixed it. I think I need to use a normal eraser first. Let's try this one. It's a Faber-Castell dust-free eraser. I need to put on quite some pressure. So while I am erasing, and this is quite a job, I can tell you that the second wave of the virus has arrived here in Europe. That is absolutely clear now. Spain is in deep trouble. France is in trouble. And here in the Netherlands, the numbers are rising. Numbers are rising in Belgium too. So tonight, our Prime Minister will give a press conference and tell us what the new measures are, because measures will be taken. So I am erasing the colors that are warm, the warm tones like the reds and the yellows and the oranges. And this page is being colored by Arteza color pencils. Arteza premium or professional color pencils. Well, anyway, I forget the name, but here we have one ultramarine. And I really like these pencils. I think they are great for using in coloring books. And they are a great alternative, I believe, when you want to have a pencil that is good quality, but when you do not have the money to buy the real expensive pencils. There's only one thing about these pencils: they are not very light fast. But when you color in coloring books and just keep the drawings in the coloring books, so you store them away from daylight, then there's no problem. And they color lovely. So yeah, there is a second wave hitting Europe. And tonight our Prime Minister is going to tell us what to do. And I am a little bit concerned that they are too late with new measures and that the measures are not firm enough. Right now the problems occur in young people, students, and the problem with this virus is that young people do not get very ill. Now that's a good thing, of course, but that makes young people feeling less responsible for doing the right thing and stay away from each other. So there are many besmettingen, that is Dutch besmettingen. There are many cases among students. Mykonos blue. My husband and I haven't been on vacation yet. We are planning on going in a couple of weeks, and I really hope we can go, because if the numbers keep rising, I will be a little bit concerned. Our vacation will be to the beautiful forests of the Veluwe, and we have rented a cottage there. Oh no, that's not true, an apartment, just for a week. And we are planning on doing hiking, wildlife watching, stuff like that. So we didn't want to go to a hotel for a week, because then we would have to have lunch and dine in restaurants. We rather do not do that often. And normally without corona I would also not be very enthusiastic about having to dine and lunch in restaurants all the time, because I have a gluten allergy. I have been having that for years, from childhood on, I guess. But I didn't know. I always had belly aches and pains, but never knew that was a problem until a doctor told me you should stop eating wheat and gluten. Here we have moss. So I stopped eating this stuff and the pains went away, so that is just great. But dining, eating out, can be complicated, although the last couple of years things have improved. It has improved very much. So it's less complicated now. But there have been times that it was impossible for me to find a lunch. Lunch is difficult. But anyway, let's pick another one. I'm just picking colors. Europe. Does anyone know what that means? Europe? I don't know what that means. So our plan is to go to the beautiful area of the Veluwe. And another plan is to go to the south tip of the country, Limburg. Beautiful area. It's the only area in the Netherlands that has hills. The rest of the country is almost completely flat. And from that beautiful area in the south of the Netherlands, you can easily go to a German national park called North Eifel, and you can also go to a beautiful forested and low mountain area in Belgium called Ardennen, and that's an area that has been famous for stories from the First World War. Maybe you've heard about it. And I think the Second World War too. Anyway, both Belgium and Germany have declared the province where we live, South Holland, to be a red zone when it comes to coronavirus. They don't want us South Hollanders to visit their country. So our plans to go to Germany for a day or to Belgium, I don't think that's going to be possible. Here I have one called charcoal. Our vacation is a couple of weeks away, so maybe I could hope for things to change, but I think things will change, but not in the right direction. We are seeing the first signs of the second wave, and we have learned during the first wave this spring that when you start taking measures, it will take weeks to see things improve. So we're definitely not going to see improvement in the next few weeks, I fear. I'm still teaching. My voice teaching. I started teaching in the studio again. So I need to make a decision in the next couple of weeks whether that is still possible or not. I don't want to be a source of infection. So as you can see, I'm just slowly layering all those colors on top of each other, and it's working. This process takes a lot of time, so what you need when you like colored pencils, the most important skill you need is patience. It's a slow medium. Do not rush things, because the end result will be so much better if you take your time and allow the pencil to do what it's good at, but that takes time. Indigo. Yeah. So yeah, we have coronavirus, And all sort of other stuff happened in the last couple of weeks. Sometimes life happens. I think you know what I mean. Just things that really need to be taken care of. So that's the reason that I hadn't much time to record videos. I hope you're all doing well. But following the news, a lot is going on in the world. Next year we will have elections here in the Netherlands. And next fall there will be elections in the United States. And this year it's extra interesting. Mykonos Blue, because I have a brother who moved there last year. So he lives in the United States right now with his family. And when you have family living in a country, suddenly the news becomes much more interesting. So I've been following the news a little bit. And there was another reason that I followed the American news, because we had planned on going on vacation to the United States. But that vacation has been cancelled. But it took a while for the travel agency to cancel the trip. And I am not so good at handling uncertainty. This is noir, black. So uncertainty in the way that you know your trip will be, you know it will be very unlikely that the trip will that you will be able to do to go on holidays to the United States. But on the website, the travel agency is still telling you the trip will just no problem, you will go. And you already know that's not going to be the case. So in those weeks between those weeks that it wasn't clear yet whether the trip would be cancelled or not, I had been following the American news because I was looking for news, a statement from the government that would say we don't want tourists until December 1st or something like that. But a message like that I never found. I don't think it is there. This is blueberry, because of course nobody can predict the course of this pandemic. But I was looking for that information. Maybe somewhere the American government will say, hey, we will close the borders for tourists for the next 6 months or something like that. And while searching for that information, I came across a lot of other news, stuff that's happening in the United States. And I was reading articles on several news sites. And I have a question. I also asked my brother that question, but he had not, he couldn't answer it. He didn't know, but maybe you do. I have been following several news agencies, NBC News, CNN, and Fox News. And you know, when you I follow the Dutch news also, of course, from several news agencies. And here in the Netherlands, when you follow the news, then all the big news agencies, they have their headlines are quite similar, the same. They all have the same stories in their headlines. And when I go to CNN.com and compare their headlines with Fox News, it's a complete different story sometimes. And I know that Fox News and CNN are each other's opposites. So I was wondering how much politics is involved in deciding what is headlines, which stories are headlines, and how to cover the stories. So I asked my brother whether he knows whether there is a news agency that is a little bit more neutral in their way of covering the news. I had a feeling that NBC News is a little bit more neutral, but I'm not sure if that's true. So I would love to hear from you whether there is a different news agency with a little less political thing to it. So this looks much better already. Let's take a step back. Let's take a look. Much better. As you can see, a lot more work needs to be done, so I will continue, but I'm going to show you something first. This, what is it? Maybe you know what this is. This is typical Dutch candy called drop. It's the licorice candy. And last week my husband was watching a YouTube video about two Americans, a young couple. They came to the Netherlands to do some sightseeing, and they bought a drop and they started eating it. And you know, when you chew drop, it's very chewy. It sticks to your teeth and it's a mess. So actually they ate it the wrong way, because you don't chew drop, you suck on it. Yeah, you let it melt in your mouth slowly. I'm going to put it in my mouth. I love it. This one it's a honey hive. It's a beehive, sorry, beehive. So this one tastes a little bit like honey. There's a lot of licorice in it. And we Dutch, we love this taste. I don't think many people from abroad like it, but we do. It's just lovely. Maybe you just need to eat it from childhood on, and then you learn to like the taste. Oh, great. I hope I will not make too much noise by eating this while recording. Normally I wouldn't do that because it sounds stupid, but honey drop. Honing drop. That's the Dutch word. In the meantime, let's work on this little flower. I'm going to pick this color, coral. And here I have lemon. This one is called Plum. When we go on vacation this year, we will be in those beautiful woods of the Veluwe in the time that the deer rut is going on. The red deer stags will go out and look for the females, and they will fight with each other. So my husband and I are planning on going into the woods early morning or during sunset, and hopefully we will encounter red deer. I really would love to see red deer fighting. Coral again. We have been to the Veluwe before to go wildlife watching in the deer rut time, and we have heard a lot of, we call it burlen, the sounds that the red deer make when they are, in English you have, in America you have the wapiti deer, the elk. They do the same thing. They make a noise which is called bugling, but it's a completely different sound, strangely enough, because those elk and red deer, they are related to each other, but the sound is completely different. And let's add some more yellow. This one is called Ivory. We have been watching wildlife almost every year in deer rut time, but going on vacation in that period has always been on my wish list. And the reason for that is when you go to the Veluwe in deer rut time, in the weekend, the rest of the Netherlands, the people are there too, watching the red deer making noises and fighting. It's so crowded then that it's really not fun anymore. A couple of years ago we went there. I think it's been 6-7 years ago, maybe longer, that my brother and I went to an area in the Veluwe called Delerwoud. It's a beautiful area with woods and heather and fields, and we went there early morning to watch the deer rut. And we were lucky. There were not that many people in the woods. This is Fuchsia. And the woods were beautifully quiet, and you could hear the deer making noises, and you could hear them coming closer. It was very exciting. But the years that came after that, more and more people started to come to the Veluwe to watch these animals do their thing. So a couple of years ago we went to Delerwoud again, and this time when we arrived there were 70 people waiting for the ranger to open the gate so we were allowed to enter the woods, because here in the Netherlands you are not allowed to be in the woods between sunset and sunrise. So at night you are not allowed to be in the woods, and that is to give the animals a little bit of quietness. So 70 people were waiting just around sunrise for the ranger to open the gate. And I decided I'm never going to do this again. Because when you enter a forest with 70 people, you are a huge disruption to the forest and the animals. Those deer, they ran away very quickly, and it was a mess. It was really not. This is fruit punch. So now we will be there for a week, and we will go into the woods in the middle of the week when everybody is working. And I hope it will be much more quiet, and I hope we will have a better chance of finding the deer and not being such a great distraction for them, because I really didn't like that. Eggplant. In the Netherlands we don't call it eggplant. We use the French name aubergine. I think I need to do a little bit of erasing here. And just build up the color a little bit more slowly. Flamingo. These pink colors in the Arteza colored pencil set, they are lovely, but they are absolutely not light fast. I tested them. I put it on paper, I left it near the window, and after a couple of months their colors were gone. But they are lovely colors, but they are fugitive. They will fade in time. Okay, let's take a step back. So now you can see the other flowers need much more color too. but I will do that some other time. I hope you liked this episode. I will put a link in the description of this video where if you are interested in buying the Arteza pencil set. In this video I'm using the 72 pencil set, so I will add a link to the 72 pencil set. I wish you happy coloring, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next episode. But the next episode, I think it will take a while because of all the things I need to take care of right now. But there will definitely be another episode. So happy coloring. Bye bye.